Today we're going to look at life gain spells that are not actually life gain spells. We'll start off with Liquid Soulfly with Ravenous Baloth. It's not even a life gain spell, it's a beast. But that beast packs quite the punch, or gains life. Alright, we got a green 2 generic 4/4 beast creature. Sack a beast and you gain 4 life. So remember, the rules of the show is the spell cannot be on the stack when you gain the life. It's got to be life gain in some other form. Yes, the ability can go on the stack, but the actual card cannot. Or maybe you can be tricky. You know what? I'll also accept cards that change your life total for the better. All right. How did I know I'd be first? Well, you show up early. That's why. All right, so we got the Ravenous Baloth. You want us another one? Siege Rhino. I shouldn't have really got this one out of the way first because everyone later is going to be like, Siege Rhino, Siege Rhino, Siege Rhino. The green, black, white, 1 generic, 4/5 Rhino, trample, enters the battlefield. Each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. That's right, it's a zero-sum game here. My gain comes at your loss. That's how the Siege Rhino works, and is actually one of the more broken life gain spells that was not actually a spell in the history of the game. My God, did that terrorize Standard, Modern, and so on. Is it legal in... Does this thing see any play in Pioneer? Wow, no, that's wild. How did I not... That was... Whatever, maybe the mana is just not good enough. When Abzan is back... You know, you'll know about it in Pioneer. All right, Boulder with the super chat. This will be an interesting stream. Yes. All right, we got Chen with Farmstead. Farmstead. We got a white enchant land. Target land's controller gains 1 life. If white is spent during controller's upkeep, you cannot gain more than 1 life each turn if this is an enchantment. What a weird card. What a weird way to gain life on top of that. Hold on, what is the Oracle text on this thing? It's just enchant land. At the beginning of your upkeep, you can pay white. If you do, gain 1 life. And I'm assuming that's it. So you can only paying 5 mana to gain 1 life? Alright, you worked for it, buddy. It's all yours. Relish in your life gain. Alright, next we've got Abe with Demonic Pact. What is going on here? Demonic Pact. Oh, yeah. Okay, so black 2 generic. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. And one of them is deal 4 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 4 life. All right, we got a life gain spell. Make sure you don't last too long in this game, or the game lasts too long, then you won't. Because the last mode here is you lose the game. Of course, you could choose one in any order. If you want, you could just lose the game on the spot. Wait for the next. If you're at 1 life, lose the game on the spot, and then you'll have like 40 life when you reset, play the next game. We got Coulter here. Thank you very much for the super chat. Verdant Sun Avatar. We got, oh, I thought it was going to be a bird. It's a dinosaur avatar. It's a green 5 generic 5/5. Whenever Verdant Sun's avatar or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So you don't have to play spells that gain life. You just have to play creatures that gain life. And oh my God, there's a million of them. And just have a bunch of creatures. And this will help trigger things off of life gain. Ixali's fertile rays live in us all. Each of us is a testament to the sun's strength and love. Honestly, sounds AI generated to me, if you ask me. How about Illusion? Oh my goodness! Erland with Illusions of Grandeur. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I don't even know why they made blue cards like this. No one would play this thing under any practical reason. All right, so it's a blue 3 generic enchantment. In blue, mind you. Very bizarre. When it comes into play, you gain 20 life. Sounds amazing, right? Sounds great, but the problem is if it leaves play, you lose 20 life, and it's got cumulative upkeep of 2. So you have to pay 2, then next turn 4, then 6, then 8. If you can't pay it, then boom, you lose it and you lose the 20 life. Wild card. It was actually a combo card with a card called Donate. So you play Illusions of Grandeur, get the 20 life, donate it to your opponent, and if you're playing just one-on-one Magic, then each player's life total is 20. So if they don't pay the upkeep, they're dead. They have to pay for it. Sweet card. Cow! The god. We got Ether Flux. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a card. That'll gain some life. Whenever you cast a spell, gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. So it accumulates, right? You gain 1 life for each spell you've cast. So it's like Storm for a life gain. Literally. Onto an artifact. And you can basically you recount the storm every turn. Pay 50 life. Deals 50 damage to our creature or player. Make sure they don't gain too much life, people. Make sure they don't gain too much life. Cole! Oh yeah, Shield Red. Honestly, a bit of a boring suggestion, but it's real. Everyone, have you heard of this card, people? Have you? No? It just made me realize things like Omnath, Uro, Siege Rhino, Shield Red, all the broken cards, the supremely broken cards let you gain like 2 or more life a turn. And that's what Shield Red does. Because for a 4 or 5 creature, whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. You know you're going to be drawing at least 1 card a turn. It's not like you have Necropotence out in every format, you know what I mean? It's not like that's how it works around here. We got Marcellus Nunes. Sithis Harvest Hand. Yes. Absolutely this counts. A lot of enchantment players are drooling over this card. Enchantress was quite a big deck in Modern for, I don't know, like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden really broken decks started to appear, and this one disappeared. But still, it's a white and a green for a 1/2, and whenever you cast an enchantment, you gain a life, and you draw a card. Personally, I like drawing the cards more than I gaining life, but you know, the life gain, it's like it's like the cherry on top, if you ask me. Yeah, it's Arethusa with Delusions of Mediocrity. So if you're looking for... Oops, Delusion of Meta... So it was it? No, it's Illusions. Illusions of Mediocrity, right? Oh no, Medio. There, we got... What was it? Oh no, it was Delusions. I just didn't spell it right. Blue 3 generic. It's the same thing, but you gain 10 life instead. But there's no cumulative upkeep. When it leaves play, you lose 10 life. Alright, so maybe this is a little bit more playable than the last one. If you're not comboing off, that is. If you want to combo off, you gotta use the Illusions of Grandeur. If you want to be mediocre, you go with Mediocrity. Yo, little Ted. Transcendence, when life gain is bad for you. Oh god. Transcendence. The actual card. Alright, white, 3 generic, enchantment. You don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. Okay, that's good. When you have 20 or more life, you lose the game. Oh god. That's bad. Whenever you lose life, you gain 2 life for each 1 life you lost. See, it's opposite of life gain. What a crazy card. So if you're at 1, okay, so you effectively invert your life total, is what you're telling me. When you have 20 more life, you lose it. You definitely don't want to play this in Commander. What is this worth in Commander? $3? What if you play it with Lich? I don't know. Judge! Yeah, so it inverts your life total. So if you're at 1 and you keep taking damage, now you're gaining life. And if you get to 20 or more life, you die. You're just stone dead. Anyway, cool card. Very, very cool card. Also, it's effectively life gain even if you don't take damage, because if you go to 1, you play Transcendence. It's like you gained 19 life. Because now the game ends if you hit 20 or more. Knowing my playgroup, they'd kill me right away anyway, so why not play it? Yeah, why shouldn't I play it? You got the idea. Alright, we got Abe. Elixir of Immortality. How do I find Elixir? Elixir of... It's probably a lot. No? Okay, we got it. Elixir of Immortality, 1 generic. artifact, pay 2, tap. You gain 5 life. Shuffle it into your... If it goes to your graveyard, shuffle it into your library. It's its owner's library, just in case you stole someone else's elixir of immortality. Because you better believe if it actually existed, everyone would try to steal it. Crowcar Games! Mirror Universe. Laugh my butt off. Okay, so... Mirror Universe says it's a 6 generic artifact. Sack it. Exchange life totals with target opponent. Play this ability only during your upkeep. That Zybers. So you don't have to you don't always gain life, but if you swap your life total with someone else, well, you've effectively gained more life than you started with. And you basically burn someone else in the process. Would you like to... I've this offer for you. I'd like to exchange this crummy old Danish for your... No, sorry. This delicious doorstop for your crummy old Danish. And it's sold. We got from... what do we got from Christopher B? Exquisite Angel. Or sorry, Archangel. I always get, like, the comment, Nikachu, you don't read. Yeah, you're right. I barely read. I'm reading too much at the same time. Not even very much of a reader. Okay, white, 5 generic for a 5/5 angel with flying. If you would lose the game, instead exile Exquisite Archangel, and your life total becomes equal to your starting life total. That Zybers with me. A living invention born of a grand design. That's Lifegain, people. All these other cards, 3 life, 2 life at a time, you just go right back to 40. Or 20. Depending how you use this card. Moving on, we got Alpha Nerd. Magister Sphinx. Stay at 10 life, you can bounce it with Teleportation Circle or Master Transmuter. Magister Sphinx. This one is Asper 4 generic for a 5/5 flyer. Enters the battlefield, target player's life total becomes 10. So absolutely, at the, if it is definitely life gain, if your life total was too low. So if you're at 2 life, boom, you go straight up to 10. I think this is a really creative, I think these cards are a really creative way to gain life. And also it gets around cards that are like, oh, you can't gain life. You know, those people playing, what's that red enchantment? I don't remember. There's all sorts of these red enchantments. Opponents can't gain life. Alright, I can't gain life. I'll just change my life total to whatever the hell it is that I want. And it's done. Damn with Palaka Worm. Love them big green boys when they enter the battlefield. Yeah, those ETB effects. 7 mana for a 7/7 with trample. Enters the battlefield, you gain 7 life. When it dies, you draw a card. Why can't we just draw 7 cards off this? Why can't it be like the green version of Grizzlebrand? I guess it would just be more broken, right? I guess Atraxa is the green version of Grizzlebrand. Looking at a million cards. Gaining life anyway. We got Banned Lifegain, Grove of the Burn Willows. Oh! Oops. I don't know if this counts, because this is like everybody else gains life, you don't. But it is a unique way for life gain to be had onto the battlefield. Yeah, Grove of the Burn Willows. It's a land, you can add a colorless. But if you want to add a green or a red, each opponent gains 1 life. How to make you the opponent, though. Next we got Coulter Chase. Kibo. Sounds like a UFC fighter. Uktabi Prince through banana tokens. We got a green 2 generic for a 2/2 Monkey Noble. Each player creates a colorless artifact token named Banana. With tap, sack this artifact, add a green or a red to your mana pool. You gain 2 life. So it's like... Oh, it's just tap, sack. It's like better than food tokens, really. Bananas. They've got the vitamins for you that normal food tokens do not. And whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a counter on each creature you control that's an ape or monkey. Oh, here we go. We've got, you know, I've been in a monkey forest before. It's very important. Do not make any rustling plastic noises. They will come right up to you because they think that you have food. It's my only advice. So yeah, basically, whenever they use their food, the monkey will be there and get stronger. And whenever Kibo attacks defending players, sacks an artifact. Monkey forests are very interesting. Nalia with fasting. The worst life gain card in the game. White enchantment. You may choose to skip your draw phase. If you do, you gain 2 life. Oh god. I'm not saying that this does legitimately count for the show, but this is like one of the worst cards ever. I would like to exchange the best resource in the game for one of the worst resources in the game. Thank you very much. That's so bad. David. With Ivory Tower. Oh, I looked up David. No, Ivory Tower. There's an older one right in there. There we go. Let's look at a gold border one. For 1 mana, it's an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, gain 1 life for each card in your hand in excess of 4. It is the opposite of, what is it? One of those vices? Black Vise? The rack? You know, they had to make one to balance it out. If I have a lot of cards in hand, I'm gonna gain the I didn't know about this. I've heard of this card for forever, but I didn't know what it did. Classic card. Absolutely classic. Not very much in style, that's for sure. Someone could probably use this thing in some way or form. We used to be restricted. Every time, well, you know, like maybe in a world where like all the creatures are dinks, 1 power, 2 power as it was back then. Yeah, I could see this being restricted. This card's broke. You have 4 of these things in play. You gain like 16 life a turn. That's impossible to overcome. All right, next up we got who haven't I gotten chosen yet? Kalantaris. Is fasting worse than Farmstead? I think we looked at this one. Yeah. Because at least Farmstead lets you draw cards. At least Farmstead lets you draw cards. Tree of Redemption. I didn't know the tree needed to redeem itself. It's been sitting there the entire time, like a bump on a log. Alright, we got green 3 generic, 013 defender. Exchange your life total with Tree of Redemption's toughness. So you go below 13, you're going to be gaining some life. Isn't there some combo with this? Exchange your life total with Tree... so... I guess if you're at 40 life in Commander, you exchange, and then boom, this is like a 40 toughness creature. And then if you can attack with creatures as though they had... if defender creatures can attack with their toughness as though they didn't have defender, I guess you could win big time. So it's like a pretty cool combo card. I'm assuming it's a combo card. Okay, Coulter. Trisk. I'm just gonna put it Trisk. I have a feeling you didn't spell that right. I was right. You didn't do it, but that's right. That's okay. I figured it out. Triskaidekaphobia. Apparently, that's a real thing. It's a black 3 generic enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose 1. You have 2 options. Each player with exactly 13 life loses the game, and each player gains 1 life. This is okay. I mean, that is legit. Checks out. Then, or each player with exactly 13 life loses the game, then each player loses 1 life. All right, you got it. So basically, your threat. So if anyone's close to 13, you just slowly draw them towards it. You're making people afraid of 13. That's what you're doing with Triskaidekaphobia. Please also do Triska de... There's only... How many Trisks are there? Triskphilia? You didn't even spell this one right. No one knows how these cards are spelled. Does this change life totals? At the beginning of your upkeep, you have exactly 13 cards in your hand. You win the game. Yeah, it's not a life gain spell. Disqualified. Get out of here. Alright, Toads is like tree of... Do we have more trees? Tree of I think you meant Tree of Perdition. You spelled it right. Black 3 generic 013 defender. Exchange target opponent's life total with Tree of Perdition's toughness. So this is, I don't think you're gonna give them life, though. I doubt it. I somehow doubt it. Or you're just stealing their 40 life so you can have a big booty on this Tree of Perdition. Alright, what do we got next? We got, Yo Little Ted here with Boon Reflection. Because 2 is better than 1. That's true. Okay, white 4 generic enchantment. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. It's a life doubler. You people in your life gain. They keep making cards like this. I wonder what they have. In my opinion, is like life gain competitive at all? Or is it just always jank and always has been jank? The thing is, like, to make life gain good, you put it on a creature. But the problem is every single time they do it, the creature is just broken as hell. Like, just breaks the game, breaks the format. But if you don't put it on a creature, then sometimes it sucks. By sometimes, I mean like all the time. Okay, Toads and Coulter with Fumigate. You guys like your Fumigate? Oh yeah, this is a good one. White 3 generic sorcery. Destroy all creatures, you gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way. So when you go kablooey all the creatures, you gain a life. What does that mean? Like you ate the corpses or something? Jace getting in on that corpse. Oh, this is some delicious, what is this stupid creature? It's not an oof. I don't know what it is. It looks like an anteater. I think it's like it's one of those thieves. Oh, it's a gremlin. The Gearpear's gremlin population poses a threat to the infrastructure of the fairgrounds. Threats must be eliminated. And then eaten. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. How do you and you ate the fumigated thing? That's disgusting. Oh, that's awful. Is that an ornithopter? I think you're right. I think that is an ornithopter. Ornithopter fumigating. All right, moving on. We got Crowcore Games with Invisible Hymn. Where is it? Oh, it's Invincible. Invincible Him. There we go. White 6 generic sorcery. Count the number of cards in your library. Your life total becomes that number. That is sweet! That Zybers with me. Banshees believe those who were born into the highest caste and live a life of discipline and virtue can ascend to become angels. Or can at least ascend to have as much life total as there are in your cards in your library. It's jank, but you know, you'll take that jank to the bank. You have 99 cards in your deck. Actually, that's impossible. You've got, I don't know, 85-ish cards in your deck. Go up to 85 life. Daniel! You're just saying it was a gremlin. Yeah, it was a gremlin. These are gremlins. Just trying to look for somebody who has never gotten one. There we go. Jess! Spike Feeder. Green 1 generic 0/0. But it comes into play with 2 counters on it. Also, you can pay to remove a counter. Well, you can put a counter on some other creature. But you can also remove a counter and gain 2 life. Huge combo card. If I see Spike Feeder across from me, I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, okay, how are you trying to combo off with this thing? Is it infinite life? Is it infinite power? Is it infinite, I don't know, cards? Actually, I don't think you can gain infinite cards off of this thing. Usually infinite damage sometimes. Because you put counters on other things that can deal damage. Next up, we got John with emblem of the emblem. Hold on, Sarah. So let's look up Sarah the Benevolent. So we gotta work hard for this life gain is what you're telling me. Okay, you get an emblem. The -6. If you control a creature, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. You know what? That don't life gain with me. It does, like, it prevents. I know you effectively save life because you don't die, but your life total doesn't change. It just goes to 1, and it just doesn't go lower than there. I don't count that. But thank you very much for the super chat anyway. We got Trip. You rock, Nika. Access of Mortality. We got white 4 generic enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may have 2 target players exchange life totals. And one of those players can be you. And of course, you're going to be the one that benefits off of this thing. You'd rather have more life than less. I like these types of cards. It's a pretty cool card. Oh, Blood Artist. Oh, I didn't know Blood Artist got a revamped picture. Got a black 1 generic for a 0/1 vampire. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So with death comes life. Something dies, you gain some life. A card for near-death experience. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, Worship, and that Angel definitely will be a near-death experience type of card. All right, what do we got here? Petty Polite with Living Artifact. We got a green enchantment. For each 1 damage dealt to you, put a Vitality counter on Living Artifact. Remove a Vitality counter from Living Artifact. Gain 1 life. So hold on. Oh, interesting. Use this ability only during your upkeep and only once each turn. That reminds me of something like Sun Droplet or something like that. I couldn't remember. Was it like? It's very similar. So you get dealt damage. You put counters on this. Sun Droplet, I think it is. Yeah, whenever you're dealt damage, you put that many charge counters on Sun Droplet. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you can remove 1. And if you do, you gain 1 life. It's a pretty sweet spell. All right, next up, we got Alpha Nerd, the Golden Throne. The Golden Throne at 4 generic legendary artifact. Arcane life support. The hell is that? If you would lose the game, instead exile the Golden Throne, your life total becomes 1. Okay, I mean, you go above 1 if you are going to die. I guess that is close. It's close to being disqualified, but I guess it counts. Yeah, if you would lose the game. Oh, it might bring your life total. So you could also, your opponent could also like Thassa's Oracle, and I guess you crack this thing. If you would lose the game, hold on, is this just another Worship? If you would lose the game, instead exile this thing, your life total becomes 1. That's neat. You can also sack a creature at 3 mana in any combination of colors. Weird card. It's very close to being disqualified. Patrick's. Oh, we did Transcendence. We had that one already. What is Loxodon Warhammer? Loxodon Warhammer. Oh, the equipment. +3/+0 and has Trample and Lifelink. That's right. Okay, can't you combo with that something that lets you do X, then you lose the game, like take an extra turn? Maybe. It's possible. Blunt the Assault from ZMK. Blunt the Assault. Funky Lifegain Fog has won me many games on Lifegain livings against tokens. Fog of War kind of works the same as well. Okay, we got a green 3 generic instant. You gain 1 life for each creature on the battlefield. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Gain 1 life for each creature on the battlefield. That is not bad. Yeah, that's right. That life gain. All right, next up, we got... Your little Ted says... A Johnny, Mentor of Heroes Ultimate. This better work. You gain 100 life. Holy crap. 100. Are there any cards out there that says like if you have 100 or more life, you just win the game on the spot? That could perhaps work. Is that the most life you can gain on a single card? Like, I'm not sure, but I think it is. I'll try again. Tendrils of Agony. That doesn't work. That one actually doesn't work because it is literally a spell that gains life. See, a spell is a card that is on the stack. And all of those, the original Tendrils of Agony and the copies, they're all on the stack. So they are disqualified. 0 for 2 over there. That's okay. Tamio safekeeping. Okay, we're gonna let Tamio safekeeping. A green instant. Target permanent you control gains hexproof and indestructible until in turn you gain 2 life. Also disqualified. It's on the stack. Disqualified. That's okay. We're gonna look at more life gain spells that are not actually spells, but first we have to thank our sponsors: FusionGamingOnline.com, Scarlet and Violet, Palladio Evolved. I have no idea what that is, but if you're looking to pre-order cards from or buy March of the Machine Aftermath, Lord of the Rings from Tales of Middle-earth, and also Commander Masters, you might consider FusionGamingOnline.com, because not only do they got those products, they also have billions of singles. They're buying everything from you. You want to sell your City of Traders, Gilded Drake, Survival of the Fittest, Mana Crypts, they're buying. It supports the channel too when you purchase from FusionGamingOnline.com, especially when you're using coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Get that competitive edge. If you ever thought about winning at Magic the Gathering one day, well, you can do that when you're renting with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or get 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_PG2 to rent the best deck in the metagame right now. And by the way, if it gets scrapped in 2 weeks, you just change to the next best deck in the metagame. It's as simple as that. That's the Mana Traders way. All right, next we what do we got? Ooh, I have a lot of super chats here. Or do I? We have the golden. Did we do the golden throne? Thank you very much for that super chat. Oh yeah, that was the one that was like on the fence, sort of. Can't even fly. Eternity Vessel. No, we definitely did not do this one. Oh my god, it looks like a spaceship caught in a tree. Is that what it is? It's like the Eternity Vessel. UFOs. 6 generic artifact. Eternity Vessel enters the battlefield with X charge counters on it, where X is your life total. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have your life total become the number of charge counters on Eternity Vessel. That sounds insanely annoying to deal with. So I mean, you start the game with that 40 life. Every single time you play a land, you're just at 40 life eternally for forever. Now I understand why it's called the Eternity Vessel. This is probably the best life gain card I've ever seen. But technically, your life total becomes that number, so you're not actually gaining life, so it won't trigger life gain stuff. But holy crap. I mean, you're effectively just gaining tons. Just basically pay. This plus Necropotence is just broken. Just broken. Just draw a million cards. And then, I don't know, like, pay X amount of life, set aside a billion cards, put a land onto the battlefield, and you're right back to square one. Yeah, we did fasting already. Oh god, Oko Thief of Crowns. Oh yeah, the food token maker. That's basically what it is. So a food token is, it's just a artifact, pay 2, crack it, gain 3 life. Does it exchange life totals at all? No, it's just artifacts and creatures. Toa! With Cosmos. Elixir. Mini elixirs out there. Did they have to errata this? Was it broken or something? Oh, they made it better in Alchemy. So here's the original card. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card in your... draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting life total. Otherwise, you gain 2 life. And then, did they try to push it? At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting life total. Otherwise, you gain 2 life and you draw a card. Well, they tried to push it in Historic, I guess. Alchemy and Historic. Wasn't good enough. That's so weird. Cards with the exact same name with different abilities on it. Next up, we've got Tristan. Thank you so much. Good morning. Oh, good morning, Tristan. I'm really happy to see you here today. The Onion Scoop. Crowcore Games. Form of the Dinosaur. More jank. This whole show is jank, if you ask me. Red, 4 generic for an enchantment. When Form of the Dragon enters the battlefield, your life total becomes 15. At the beginning of your upkeep, Form of the Dragon deals 15 damage to target creature an opponent controls, and that creature deals damage equal to its power to you. Oh, God! I don't know if I want to use this card. I mean, you will technically gain life if you're low enough. Very bizarre way of gaining life. Super bizarre. David, Life Chisel. 4 generic, sack a creature, you gain life equal to its toughness. Activate this ability only during your upkeep. Holy crap, that is a bad card. It's just terrible. But it works. Phyrexian Unlife. Does that... That is a great one. You know what? Yeah, that Zyber's with me. See, it's an enchantment for a white 2 generic. You don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. And as long as you have 0 or less life, all damage is dealt to as though its source had infect. So effectively, you gain, what, 10 more life, right? You gain 10 more life. It's basically a 10 life gain spell, because as soon as you hit 0, it's actually more than that. Because it's only once you have 0 or less life that this is going to count. So if you have 20 life and someone attacks you for 100, then you just go to like -80, but you don't take any infect yet. So it is at least 10 life gained, but it could be more. Yeah, this Zyber's with me. All right, next up we got Jitsuku with Angel of Destiny. Which one? Oops, I did not spell that right. White, 3 generic for a 2/6 flying double striker. Now, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player gain that much life. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player gain that much life. So you're both gaining life. And at the beginning of your end step, if you have at least 15 more life than your starting life total, each player, Angel of Destiny, attacks this turn, loses the game. Holy crap! Now that is something you can use with your life gain. If you're looking for a way to win the game with life gain, you got Angel of Destiny on your back. That's the way to do it. We've got Turia with Sengir. The Dark Baron. Flying, whenever another creature dies, get counters on this thing. Whenever another player loses the game, you gain life equal to that player's life total as the turn began. What a weird card. Yeah, that works. Imagine playing this on one-on-one. I'm gonna gain some life when you lose the game, but the game is over, so it's like completely irrelevant. Oh, it's got partner, so it's definitely meant for commander. Yeah, that's a pretty funny card. You gain life to that player's life total as the turn began. So you have to remember what their life total was before the turn started. Very bizarre card. All right, next up we got from Pacers fan forever, Thragtusk. That's true, we didn't do this one yet. Swagtusk, Swag Daddy. Anyone still playing Swag Daddy in their commander deck? It probably deserves more play these days than it actually gets. It's still fine. Green 4 generic 5/3 creature. As a battlefield, you gain 5 life. Leaves the battlefield for any reason, you get a 3/3 beast. And then you can sack that beast for that first card we looked at where you gain 3 life for each beast sacked that way. Hey Larry, Azor, the Lawbringer. I can tell that there's some Lifegain fans in the house. Blue, white, 2 generic for a 6/6 Sphinx flying. When Azor the Lawbringer enters the battlefield, each opponent can't cast instant or sorcery spells during that player's next turn. When Azor attacks, you may pay a bazillion life. If you do, gain X life and draw X cards. Oh my god! So this is Sphinx's revelation on a creature. It should be just Sphinx, and it is Sphinx. This is just Sphinx's revelation. Is this Azor? Let the knowledge of absolute law inspire you to live a life of absolute order. They don't look the same. Maybe they are. No. This guy's got a stupid hat. And this guy has no stupid hat. So it's not the same. It is the same person? Campbell? No, they're not Campbell. This guy's Azor. Whatever. Moving on. We've got Ralph with the super chat. Thank you so much. Aloro. Ageless. Ageless said never even gets cast. Is that true? Black, blue, white, 3 generic. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 2 life. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card and each opponent loses a life. At the beginning of your upkeep, if a Loro Ageless Ascetic is in the command zone, you gain 2 life. Broken! Absolutely broken! Was this Eminence before Eminence happened? Eminence is a BS mechanic. I don't know, is anyone behind me? I don't hear any anger for Eminence. I'm like the only person. It's like everyone's like, Eminence is fine, who cares? You don't even have to cast the card! It's just in the command zone, you get an ability. Now, I admit, gaining 2 life, who cares? It's not the most broken of all the other broken abilities. Frankly, I don't like that Sarkon one that puts vampires in play for each vampire you cast, because that is BS. Eminence is not fine. Okay, we got someone's backing me up on this. Eminence is, other people say Eminence is fine. Okay, what do we got here? Let's take a look at... Okay, can't be the same. Azor hasn't been in Ravnik for a millennia? Well, that's a long time. What is this? From Bulky Merchant. Ship. Okay, we got blue. This one, yeah, blue 0/2 creature. If merchant ship attacks and it's not blocked, you gain 2 life. It's not life gain. If it wasn't blocked, you gain 2 life. You got to get those spices from China. Merchant ship cannot attack unless an opponent has islands in play. Merchant ship is destroyed immediately if at any time you have no islands in play. Yeah, you're going to be shipwrecked, shipbound to sea, landlocked. Anyway, funny card. Mr. Deadhead, Claws of Gix. What is this? 0 mana, pay 1, sack a permanent, you gain a life. Yeah, that works. That works. Approach, I don't think this one works. Approach of the that's a spell, right? It's on the stack. So if Approach of the Second Sun was cast in your hand, you cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun this game, you win the game. Otherwise, put Approach of the Second Sun into its owner's library, 7th from the top, and you gain 7 life. It's on the stack. So that one don't count. It actually literally is a life gain spell. This one literally is a life gain spell. The Archimandrite, whatever that is. Archimandrite. White, red, blue, 2 generic for a 0/5 human advisor. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain X life, where X is the number of cards in your hand -4. Oh, so it's like Ivory Tower, which means it's broken, right? Whenever you gain life, each advisor, artificer, and monk you control gains vigilance and gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gained. Tap 3 untapped advisors and artificers and/or monks you control to draw a card. I like that part. I like the one at the end. It's a good one. We got Beam Pot with Happily Ever After. White, 2 generic, enchantment. When enters the battlefield, each player gains 5 life and draws a card. It's a party, people! Be here for the party. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 5 colors among permanents you control, there are 6 or more card types among permanents you control and or cards in your graveyard, and your life total is greater than or equal to your starting life total, you win the game. Holy crap. the things you have to get through in order to do this. Yeah, the hoops. Too many hoops. I'm not doing that. That's okay. I'll just be happy with the 5 life and the 3 mana, 5 life, draw a card. Satisfied. Very satisfied. Yo Little Ted with Zuron Orb. Crucible and Fastball Infinite Life Gain. Yep. Sack a land, you gain 2 life. Also, it's very good with what's it called? Any balance type effects. Maybe you want to float a bunch of mana and then sack all your lands before you play Obliterate or something. Redco with the super chat. Shoe Farmer. From Portal 3 Kingdoms. Favorite set. We got a Farmer here. White 1 generic. 1/1 Farmer. On your turn, before you attack, you may tap Shoe Farmer to gain 1 life. Oh god, this card is terrible. They took his farmer creature type away too. He's now just a human. Look. Poor Shoe Farmer. Not even a farmer creature. Can't even keep it. It's too bad. Blessed Wind from Eco. Blessed Wind. Target player's life total becomes 20. That's right. That works. Polarity with the super chat. Was Elder Scale Worm mentioned? I don't think Elder Scale Worm. Thanks for the show. You're welcome, Polarity. Nope, we didn't do this one. Okay, 7 mana, 7/7. We did Plaka Worm. I guess this is the Plaka Worm's brother or sister. Trample. When Elder Scale Worm enters the battlefield, if your life total is less than 7, your life total becomes 7. That's life gain, in some sense. As long as you have 7 or more life, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 7. That is great! So if anything puts you below 7, you just go right back up to 7. Again, combo with Necropotence. Although these 2 cards are insanely clunky together. They're really bad. Cukier Kot. What does that mean? You're a sugar cat in Polish? Does Veto Thorn of Duskgrows count? Let's take. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. No, I'm going to disqualify that one. You don't gain life in any manner. You have to get the creatures to gain you life. Gebik, White Sun's Twilight. This is turned into Will It Life Gain? Will it life gain? White Sun's Twilight. White X. You gain X life. Nope. It's immediately a spell. Or I mean, it will life gain, but it's like it's literally a spell. So it's on the stack already. I am Polish, partially Polish, and I know very few words. I know like 100 words. Good enough to not get me by, but good enough to read random stuff or hear a random word in conversation. It's just blah 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 cat blah 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 sugar. El Grande Fatso, Samite Herbalist. White 1 generic 2/1 human cleric. Whenever Samite Herbalist becomes tapped, you gain 1 life and you scry 1. That works. Next up, we've got another super chat. We got Pacers Fan Forever back here. Oh, we did Shieldred. I'll do another Shieldred. Big Mama Shieldred. Do it again just for you. Whenever you draw cards, you gain 2 life. Has anyone ever faced... I've faced this card in Legacy, and when someone brainstorms, it feels back-breaking. It's like brainstorm, draw 3 cards, gain 6 life, put 2 cards back on top of their library. Oh god, it's terrible. It's brutal. The Children of Corliss. Did we do this one? Sack Children of Corliss. You gain life equal to the life lost this turn. Yeah, that works. That's life gain. Red Coat! Soren. Vengeful. The Vengeful one. Vengeful Bloodlord. As long as it's your turn, creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. +2. Soren Vengeful Bloodlord deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Sorry. Player or planeswalker, no creatures. Minus X, return to our creature card with convert mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. There is no life gain on this card. Like, it doesn't gain life. It does give your creatures life gain. So, it's got that going for it. But actually doesn't really gain life. The creatures will gain life. Yeah, Dzień dobry. Yeah, dobry dzień or dzień dobry. With Dragon Lord Dramoka from Christopher. So this thing actually just has lifelink. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. I feel like lifelink is cheating a little bit. Hold on, it gives itself lifelink. Oh, you are right, Shadow Scott. Oh, I missed that. Okay, you saved this one. Sorin definitely does work. Okay, yeah. The Planeswalkers have lifelink too. Yeah, it has lifelink on your turn. All right, it works. It's Zybers. And it does deal 1 damage to players or planeswalkers, hence you are going to gain that life. I like it. The Path of Bravery. Are you brave enough? Sounds like it's good for a flavor deck. You just have a bunch of cards for flavor. I am so brave! White 2 generic enchantment. As long as your life total is greater than or equal to your starting life total, creatures get +1/+1. And whenever 1 or more creatures you control attack, you gain life equal to the number of attacking creatures. I like it. Okay, somehow I feel like... Does this... Yeah! I don't... Okay, whatever. We're gonna get looser and looser at the end of the show. Here's... Oh my... That one is broken. Tatyova. That card is just straight up broken. Tatyova, Benthic Druid. I should make a commander deck out of this. Blue-green 3 generic for a 3/3 Merfolk Druid. Whenever a land you can enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life and you draw a card. I can't imagine a more broken ability. Just put lands in play and draw a card. That sounds like a good rule 0. How about every single time we play lands, we just gain life and draw a card? Oh my god, that is... I probably should experiment... I should have experimented with this thing in Modern, but it's just 5 mana is just so much. Anyway. Make Fringe CEDH Tatyova. Yeah, we're gonna make Tatyova great in CEDH. Looks good to me. I guess the problem is it's just too dirtily. It is a legit commander. I believe it. I totally think this thing dangerous. Just put a fetch land in play. Basically gain net 1 life because you'll fetch with it and draw 2 cards. That is just stupid. This is just beyond dumb. Steve Cooper. Fire Song and Sunspeaker. Alright, we got a creature. White, red, 4 generic for a 4/6. Red instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink. I think that is cool. Whenever a white instant or sorcery spell causes you to gain life, Fire Song and Sunspeaker deal 3 damage to target creature or player. That is beautiful. It's a beautiful card. Trevor! Sundroplet makes my list. It made my list too. 2 generic artifact. You're dealt damage. You get the counters on Sundroplet. At the beginning of each upkeep, you may remove a charge counter from it. If you do, you gain a life. Trevor People says, I have used Tatyova as a commander. Busted is putting it mildly. I agree. Soulfire Grandmaster. Soulfire Grandmaster. White 1 generic. Lifelink itself. Instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink. And the next time you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, put that card into your hand instead of the graveyard. Yeah, that's Zybers. Noble Purpose. It gives lifelink that's not lifelink. What the hell is that? Noble Purpose. Is it like one of those old, if it deals damage, gain that much life? Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, you gain that much life. Okay, I guess at the end of the show, I'll count all these stupid things. Shame this card cannot be a commander. What? Soulfire or Fire Song? Oh, you want Soulfire Grandmaster. Yeah, could be a cool commander. Cards we wish that were a commander. Did we do that before? Like creatures we wish were like non-legendaries we wished were a commander? I don't know if we ever did that one before. Maybe we did. Oh, I like this actually. Any of the extort ones, Blind Obedience. Okay, white 1 generic enchantment, extort. Artifacts and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tap. Whenever you cast spells, you can pay an white or a black. Each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain that much life. And commander, that's a lot of life gain. Bulky with the Juju bubble. This is a stupid card. Shouldn't exist. Worst card in Magic. Although some people always make the argument, well, if you have like infinite mana, you get infinite life. 1 mana, cumulative upkeep of 1. If you play a card, bury Juju bubble. Pay 2, gain 1 life. If you want to win the game, you gotta end the life total at some point. The Meat Hook Massacre. How much life gain does this gain? Okay, X, black X. Enters the battlefield, each creature gets -X until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses life, but whenever a creature an opponent controls whenever a creature an opponent controls, hold on. So, sorry. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain a life. It's a good one. Sorry, Nikachu, I live for those junk cards. That's why I've attracted so many of you to this show. This channel could just be called Junk Cards MTG. Who's in favor of renaming the channel to that? Junk Cards MTG. A pity Juju Bubble is one of the legacy artifacts empowering Weatherlight to kill Yawgmoth, desperately in need of a retrain. Anyway, I don't know the lore. Ecos! Fasting as life gain is more OP than card draw. No, it is not. We looked at this one already. I didn't read the whole thing. So here's the you may choose to skip your draw step. Draw step. If you do so, you gain 2 life. If you draw a card for any reason, fasting is destroyed. During your upkeep, put a hunger counter on fasting. When fasting has 5 hunger counters on it, it is destroyed. Yeah, Junk Cards MTG is perfect, to be honest. Jank it up! Sweetie Cheryl, hand pink waving. Welcome. We have Scavenging Ooze. And it will scavenge. Green 1 generic 2/2 Ooze. Green, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a counter. +1/+1 counter on Scavenging Ooze, and you gain a life. Exile them graveyards. Priest of Ancient Lore. What do we have here? White 2 generic for a 2/1 Dwarf Cleric. When Priest of Ancient Lore enters the battlefield, you gain a life and you draw a card. I like it! Drawing a card with life gain? What can go wrong there? Oh, we got some more super chats. Maybe I missed one. Redco, Hydroid Krasis. I don't know if this is gonna count. Hold on, let's look. Is there another really good one in Simic? I think this one... This actually, weirdly, is disqualified. So it's a blue-green X. When you cast this spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards rounded down each time. But the problem is, it happens on cast. So the card is actually on the stack when you gain the life. So this one actually is weirdly, you would think it wouldn't work, but it actually does work. It's a creature. Everything is a spell on the stack. We don't really call creatures spells, but anything that is on the stack, like any card, any physical card on the stack is a spell. So if it's a planeswalker on the stack, it's a spell. If it's a creature on the stack, it's a spell. So it is a bit weird. It's a cast ability, so I guess you could say the ability is on the stack. All right, we'll pass it. Yeah, well, when you cast a spell, you gain X life. It's a bit weird, though. Okay, we got Ralph here. Soulgorger Org. gorging, huh? Oops. Soul Gorger. This gain life? Red 3 generic for a 6/6. When Trample, when Soul Gorger Org comes into play, you lose all but 1 life. Oh god. When Soul Gorger when Soul Gorger Org leaves play, you gain life equal to the life you lost when it came into play. Okay, this very weirdly works. I don't even say you really net 1 anything, but I mean, at some point you are gonna gain life. It's such a weird card. Pretty bizarre. No Gray Merchant? Oh, Gary! Gary! Black 3 generic for a 2/4 zombie. When Gray Merchant of Asphodel enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life where each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. Did we miss anything? We did not miss anything. Alright, that's it for the show today. Thank you very much, everyone, for showing up. Hope that was a good one. As usual, if you want to be part of the show, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you so much for your support through the Super Chats. I really appreciate it. Your Super Chats and anyone who's a member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon supports the show, and for that reason, I will be here every morning. And most importantly, we got to thank the people who make the show. People like Jesse, Name, Abzo, Yo Little Ted, Toads, Nalia, Erland, Redco, Name, Rotboy, Bulky, King Ginger, Dem, got Dem here, Kev, Rotboy, Crowcore Games, Mr. Deadhead. So without you guys, I'd have no show. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up those coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you